All right, there we go. Mirror image is on. How's everybody doing? I was gonna give you a big old rundown about technical difficulties this morning. I've been dealing with trying to get the camera up and running for like 40 minutes, but all things considered, it's likely I don't care. Well, you can't tell because the video is playing now. So I'm gonna try to keep this one short and sweet. Right, and by short, of course, I mean somewhere less than 15 minutes. So an update, I honestly, man, I haven't even looked at the calendar to see how far out I am. So December, January, February, March, April, May, gosh, 5 months and 2 weeks, right? So what, a lot of weeks, right? So 5 months, 2 weeks since my surgery. Things are going pretty well. Getting some strength built back up into the shoulder. Of course, there's still a lot of weakness. For instance, doing overhead shoulder press with dumbbells. Left hand, I'll go with like 15 pounds. Right hand, I'm at 45, 50. And that's what I'm working out with. I'm sure it looks funny to the peanut gallery over in the gym. That's right, I'm doing what I got to do to try to get the strength back up inside the shoulder. Today I did back, right? So today was back day. Lat pull downs, I'm getting there. Strength is starting to come back. Trying to concentrate on not engaging the trap so much through the pull. One of the things that did hurt was using it's the straight bar with the handles, right? So your wrists are turned in and you're pulling down and back. For that, there was some discomfort in the shoulder. I did arms. Was it earlier this week? Late last week late last week, like Friday. Did arms, working biceps. I can feel the pull, there it is. The tenderness where the anchor is, right? So I was told that's normal, especially at this point. Everything's still going through the healing process. And now I'm adding strain to it. So I guess the main thing with it is, as long as it doesn't hurt like sharp pain or a burning pain, we're good. If there's a slap and a burn, that means I've torn the tendon, and there's a good chance my bicep is sitting down in the bend of my elbow. So all in all, things are progressing pretty well. I haven't done a whole lot of physical therapy. Most of the exercises that they had me doing, I can do here at the house. I can do at the gym. So I continue to work on those things here at home. For the most part, there's a couple of them that I didn't feel like they were really doing much of anything, so I don't spend a lot of time on those. The ones that cause me discomfort tend to be the ones that I stick with. That's today's discomfort. 2 weeks from now, it's discomfort, but with 5 pounds instead of 3, or 10 pounds instead of 7, right? So I keep the level of discomfort about the same as I progress in weight, since they didn't seem to be too concerned with the level of discomfort. And pardon all of this, I usually don't have that much crap on my head, but I'm retiring and I like frustrating people at work. So what else is going on? Cardio. So I've gone running a number of times now. One of the times in recent weeks, I put on just under 4 miles. So the first half mile or so, it took a little bit for my body to adjust. I could feel that my traps were starting to pull up a little bit during the run to stabilize the shoulder from bouncing around. But truth be told, by the time I got done with the run, even with the arm swing, it felt pretty good. It felt pretty. Now my knees, that's another matter all to themselves with the arthritis. But the shoulder is definitely coming along. I can't really think of anything in the gym that I couldn't do. Maybe like a standing high row is Yep, that's probably not a good idea for me because there's still just too much weakness in there. So that and that angle right there, trying to get the shoulder up, keeping the traps somewhat engaged and dropping the scapula. So I got to work on that. Apparently that's something I need to work on with some PVC pipe here at the house, just to send the body through the motions to get it used to that feeling again. And then I'll work again on the rotation, because I'm going to need that if I'm going to get back into CrossFit eventually. I probably won't even try CrossFit again until I'm about a year out from surgery, until all the weird kind of tweaked feelings in my shoulder go away. Next up is the elbow, right? So for June I go in for elbow surgery. From what I understand, it should be pretty quick and easy, cut and dry, in and out 40 minutes. So here on the elbow, straight on the bone, I had a motorcycle accident, fell square on the elbow apparently, doing about 35 miles an hour. And in here there are two bone fragments that have broken away. Now after the accident though, they weren't there. All I had was a bone spur, right here, and I can feel the difference between the two elbows. So a bone spur had popped up and then it's grown a little bit over the years. Likewise, over the years, because this was 2010 when I had the accident, so 5 years ago, over the years, apparently 2 pieces of bone have broken away and are floating inside the elbow. Now, I had talked to physical therapy about my elbow. I had been in, they had scraped the tricep. I had needles, dry needles inside the elbow and all the way up the tricep as well, trying to unload the pressure down here at the tendon to allow it time to heal. But between the bone spur and then the bones floating around, healing isn't going to happen. Now, physical therapy has said some folks that have been coming through, the doctors had actually gone in and severed the tricep tendon and re-anchored it in another location and then cleaned up the bone spur, right? So they went in there and did to their tricep what was done to my bicep. Cut the head, re-anchor. That's a lot of trauma for a bone spur, a lot. I thought that was a bit overkill, and talking to her, she tends to agree. Now, of course, every situation is different. There may be some instances where that has to be done. And if that's the case, talk to your doctor, do some research, get a second opinion if that's what needs to happen. But I digress. So what they're going to do is somewhere around here probably, and then back over the elbow to about here is what I'm estimating based off of my conversation with the surgeon. Once that happens and they're inside, they're going to bisect the tricep tendon and then use forceps or whatever and separate it to open so that they can get into the bone spur, shave it down, right? And then also pull out the 2 bone fragments that showed up on x-ray. Once they've taken that out and cleaned it up, they're going to suture the tricep back together. They're going to suture my arm back together at the bend of the elbow, and then I'm being told I'll be in a straight arm brace, if you will, for about 2 weeks. Now, having said that, the surgeon's assistant said, well, you're a pretty active guy and you like to go to the gym, so I'm not going to take your stitches out at day 5. I'm going to take them out at day 14. So if you're hard-headed enough to go to the gym, your elbow doesn't bust open. Now, of course, I took that to mean as long as I feel like I can lift around day 5 or day 6, then I can get back in the gym. Right, we'll see how that goes. And we'll see what kind of brace that they give me to stabilize the arm. But with those 2 things in mind, the fact that we're just bisecting the tendon in order to get to it and pull the stuff out in the bone spur and then sewing it back together, and the fact that his assistant feels that 2 weeks is probably more than is necessary, but if I were to move around a lot and go to the gym during that period, she doesn't want it to rip open. There may be minimal downtime. I might be back in the gym, back up to about the weight that I'm using right now, within 30 days, right? So I'm pretty excited about that and hopeful as well. So we'll see how all that turns out, how it shakes out. That's really about it. There isn't a whole lot else going on this end with the shoulder that really needs to be discussed. Steadily working on strengthening it. I'm pushing myself a bit, keeping in mind that if I do too much, I run the risk of further injury or undoing what was done, and neither of those do I want. So yeah, I push myself, but I ensure I don't do any jerking movements when I'm in the gym lifting. Everything is clean and slow through every repetition. So I get as much load on the muscle as I possibly can without really tweaking the shoulder. Even on the bench press, whether I have the arms straight out parallel or at an angle or all the way in narrow to the body, there are times when getting into position that I can feel it, you know, and I'll adjust a little bit. I drop my shoulder blades. I think about what it is that I'm doing with my form, work through the exercise, and everything usually turns out pretty well. All right, that's about it. That's really about it from this end. But as always, if there's any questions, concerns, comments, gripes, you know, shoot me a note. I get to them as quickly as I can. I know sometimes it takes me a couple of days. Just like, you know, with this video, it took me, I don't know how many weeks it's been since I posted one, but it took me a while to get another one up. And I've already busted the 10-minute mark. Daggone it. All right. You all have a great day. All right. Keep at it. Keep your head up. Things are going to get better. You just got to work through the discomfort to get to where you feel you need to be. All right. So, and make sure you're working with your surgical team, your doctor, your physical therapist, whoever it is that you have on your team to help you through this time. Okay. So I look forward to your comments, hearing what you all have to say, and seeing how you all are doing with your progress after surgery. All right. Take care. God bless.